Hello friends, welcome to Unacademy platform. This platform provides you structured classes, daily live classes, structured courses, live tests and quizzes, unlimited access on subscription. Okay, you can download this Unacademy learning app, which is available on both Google Play and App Store. This is about me, and this is my Unacademy profile link. This is my Telegram link. You can link me here. I'm going to answer your doubts. Okay, I'm going to resolve every one of them. So whatever doubt you face in my lecture, you can just ping me. Yeah. I'm going to respond to your doubts. I'll make sure that it is resolved. Okay. So, so along with me, these are the top educators that you have on an academy, and they provide various courses uh, on various topics. You can have access to them. These are different subscription plans. If you choose for Iconic, then you will. If you choose for Plus, then you have live classes. Then test series are there. There is unlimited practice and a structured schedule. If you go with Iconic, you have this additional benefits of having a personal coach, daily mains question answer practice, study planner, and personalized feedback. Okay, now these are the different subscription plans. Okay, of different durations. So you can select according to your requirement. And while choosing any subscription plan, you can apply this free discount coupon code. Okay, that is Amit PS to avail 10% discount. Okay, again, these are different plans to subscribe for different time period, different durations. You can select according to your need and requirement. This is the coupon code that you can apply for 10% discount. These are different optional subjects which are available in this very platform. So I'm going to take PSIR. Okay. Again, different plans for different durations. While going for these very plans, if you use this very code that is Amit PS, you get 10% discount. Okay, now in this very lecture, I'm going to discuss Aristotle's theory of citizenship. This is very important because in order to understand Aristotle's idea of polis, okay, his emphasis over uh, polity, which is a good version of democracy that you would see later, and his emphasis over the participation of people or individuals or citizens in the state affairs. You have seen that in Polis also, that he advocates for the participation in the affairs of the city, and for him that is actually something which is going to bring freedom in real sense. So in that sense, you are going to study about citizens. So Aristotle does not consider everyone who is living in palace to be citizens. Okay, so those who live in polis, that is city state, not every one of them is going to be citizen. And when he talks about participating in the affairs of polis, he is being very exclusivist here by taking citizens the only being who are going to who are actually permitted in his scheme to participate in the city affairs. Okay, now who are the citizens? Okay, what is the criteria to qualify or to become citizen? Okay, and what are the criteria? If you have those criteria, then you are going to be disqualified. Okay, for holding citizenship. So these things are going to be studied in this very. I'm going to discuss all that in this very video. Okay, so here also he is coming out with some premises which might seem, say, unjusticiable if you compare them with the modern standards of citizenship that we have. Okay, but try to understand the thinker, try to understand his logic, okay, his arguments, and also keep in mind the time in which he is living. Okay, then only you will be able to appreciate his thoughts on citizenship. So, according to Aristotle, women, elderly people, children, slaves do not have deliberative or judicial capacity, hence they are not citizens. Okay, so first thing that Aristotle points out that it is the deliberative capacity or capacity for deliberation, okay, or judicial capacity. We are going to see that in detail. These are the capacities that any individual should have in order to become citizens. Okay, now according to Aristotle, see, women, elderly people, okay, children, slaves. These are not qualified to become citizens because they lack this deliberative and judicial capacity. I'm going to discuss what about deliberative and judicial capacity, what Plato actually means by these two terms. But just to start this very lecture, so these are the two capacities that he's talking about an individual should be having, okay, in order to become citizen. Now, what is citizenship according to Aristotle? Citizenship, according to Aristotle, is a bond. Okay, it is not just a legal status. It is not just a legal status or recognition by the state. It is actually a bond, and these kind of things are actually important to understand or important to keep in mind while studying Aristotle's idea of citizenship or his theory of citizenship. Okay, because he's going to be very specific, very selective, he's going to exclude so many people or so many sections of individuals. But why does he do that? You can understand only when you understand these very things, that citizenship is not a legal recognition. Okay, for Aristotle, it is a bond. It is a bond created by intimacy of participation. Okay, so a bond among citizens. Okay, bond among individuals. Citizenship is not a legal recognition. It is not merely just a legal recognition. It is a bond, and that bond is going to come or is going to emerge only by the intimacy of the participation. So everyone, all the individuals, all the citizens, when they are going to participate actively in the affairs of the state, a bond will develop among them. Okay, that is what Aristotle refers as citizenship. It is neither a right to be claimed nor a status to be conferred. So, for example, in modern times, citizenship is more a legal status. So it is understood mainly as a legal status rather than a bond. Okay, rather than a bond. Aristotle's criteria for granting citizenship can be classified into two categories. Now here we are coming out with the exact categories, okay, that he's actually described. First, essential categories, and second, non-essential categories. Now, Aristotle is not using the word essential categories or non-essential categories. These are the studies of scholars. So Aristotle has just proposed his thoughts on citizenship, and then while studying citizenship, if one studies his scheme or his thoughts on citizenship, these are the things that you will actually conclude that there are criteria which, according to Aristotle, are essential, although Aristotle himself is not using the word essential. And then there are criteria which Aristotle considers non-essential. Again, Aristotle is not someone who is using these terms. Okay, these are the terms by scholars. Okay, when they studied the thoughts of Aristotle on citizenship, so this is what the classification that they have given. Okay, okay. Now, what is the essential criteria here? It is the ability to participate in the deliberative and judicial functions. Okay, so what is the essential criteria? It is the ability to participate in deliberative and judicial functions. Deliberative and judicial functions are going to involve legislation, lawmaking, deliberation, okay, then adjudication, all that. Non-essential criteria are these are those criteria which are not determining factors for citizenship. For example, residence. Even residence is not a determining factor. Okay, mind you, residence is not a determining factor. It is not a very decisive factor in Aristotle's scheme of things. Okay, so far as his thoughts on citizenship is concerned. Okay, these are those criteria which are not determining factor for citizenship. Now, which among the residence and enjoyment of civil and legal rights, these and some others are non-essential criteria. They are not going to determine. Regarding those essential qualifications, the ability to participate in the judicial and deliberative functions arise from different ability, which is to rule and to be ruled. So the capacity that he is actually talking about is deliberative and judicial. Now, what is the meaning of this deliberative and judicial capacity? Understand, the meaning of this very deliberative and judicial capacity is that it means that if anyone has this deliberative and judicial capacity, it would mean that they have this very ability to rule and to be ruled in turn. So, ability to rule will entail what? It will be the ability to form legislations, wise, okay, prudent legislations. And ability to be ruled means what? Ability to be ruled means those who are subjects to the ruling class. Now, they are not just subjects, they are citizens, so they are going to participate. So, in that sense, they are also going to contribute in the process of administration in one way or the other. Okay, so that is what he means when he says deliberative and judicial capacity. According to Aristotle, if a person is occupied in business or trade in order to earn the livelihood, he would not be in a position to devote his energy into state duties. As I told you, that citizenship for Aristotle is not a legal status to be accorded with, okay, or to be given to an individual. It is not just a piece of paper, or it is not just about passport, okay. It is not about that. It is not about Aadhaar card, or it is not about National Population Register. It is not about those documents. Although these documents are also not about citizenship, but it is not about any legal document. It is about bond. Okay, it is about bond which is emerging out of the intimacy that will emerge from the participation of individuals, active participation of people in the state, in the affairs of a state. Now, if this is citizenship, then now you can understand that this will emerge only when individuals are going to participate actively in the state affairs. Yes. Now individuals can participate actively in the state affairs only if they have time for it. Only they have free time for it. Now they will have free time only when they are not preoccupied with the means with those means which are employed for earning livelihood. They are not preoccupied with the most manual works that are inessential, that are not essential from those people's point of view who are going to participate in the state's affairs. Okay, so it is important for anyone who is willing or who is qualified to become citizen that he must not be preoccupied or obsessed with those things which are going to demand his time, his energy, his mind. Okay, because here a citizen is required to contemplate, to deliberate, okay, to participate in the state affairs. And this is not possible when one is preoccupied in his business or trade in order to earn livelihood. Okay. Now, these kind of citizens who are preoccupied, they will not be able to devote themselves in the state duties. Okay. They will not be able to devote or they will not be able to participate in the state affairs. And that is why Aristotle says that a person must have free time. A person must have leisure. Okay, free time in order to actually contemplate, in order to think about his affairs or his relation with the state, his participation in the state duties. Okay, in order to be ruled and ruled. A person must be having leisure, that is free time. Now, this leisure or free time is possible only when all his basic needs, all his basic tasks, chores are taken care of by someone else. Now, who is going to take care of those very tasks which are manual in nature? Okay, daily chores, for example, laundry and washing utensils, okay, cleaning, and these all kind of things. Who is going to do all that? These are the manual chores which are to be performed by slaves. Okay. Now, if you recall the features of police, then one of the feature was that authority is going to be vested in the hands of rich, and this very thing which might have confused you in that very stage. Now you will be able to relate it because it is only the rich who are going to have leisure. Okay, that is free time because they will be owning slaves. Okay, they will have other means which can take which through which they can take care of their daily chores. Okay, they are not going to invest their energy and time into those meaningless daily chores. They are all taken care of by others or by other assistants, including slaves. Okay, that is why he says that authority should actually be vested in the hands of rich. And see, Aristotle's citizens are not citizens only by any legal document or only for namesake. They are citizens. They are citizens because they are actively participating in the affairs of a state. Now, for this to happen, it is important that those citizens should actually have free time, okay, energy and leisure to take care of state's activities, to be able to fulfill all the duties that they have towards the state. Okay, and that is why says that property is actually an essential criteria to have to become citizen. Okay, this way you can relate one of the feature of police that you studied in the last video. Okay, and along with property, slave is also required. So slaves are required because they will take care of all the daily chores. Okay, manual jobs. Now Aristotle believes that a person should be free from manual labor. Okay, a person should be all the manual labor should be done by someone who is not citizen, because citizen has to take care of other things. Okay, he has to see his duties that he has got towards his state. Now, he argues that slaves are required for a person to be able to cultivate the qualities of citizenship because slaves take care of the worries of daily life. Okay, so slaves should be there to take care of the worries of daily life. For example, again, same examples: laundry, washing utensils, okay, cleaning the room, all those kind of things. Okay, fetching the water from the well, all those things. A person is able to deliver his functions as legislature only when he is free from all these worries of daily life, and that is why slave is required. Okay, a person should be able to cultivate the qualities of citizenship, or will be able to cultivate the quality of citizenship only if he is free of all worries. Simple example: you will be able to qualify civil services examination only if you are free from worries of daily life. Okay, or you have to manage it well. So I'm just citing the example that same kind of argument is being made by Aristotle here. Okay, because citizen is not a citizen just for the namesake, he is an active citizen, or is a citizen because he is actively participating in the affairs of his state, he is actively performing his duties toward his states, and all that is possible when he has leisure, he has free time, he has property, so that he doesn't have to think about his livelihood, he doesn't need to think about his daily course, okay, daily course and manual labor. Aristotle gives the following reasons in favor of property. You understand? In order to develop virtue, that is goodness, contemplation and speculation is required. Okay, you need to think deeply. Contemplation means think deeply. Okay, so you need to think deeply, need to speculate, you need to think actually. And contemplation is required, and a person does not have time for speculation if he is engaged for livelihood. Now, if throughout the day you are engaged in livelihood, in the process of production in order to earn your livelihood, then you won't get the time for contemplation, free thinking, okay, philosophizing, free thinking, speculation. All that is required according to Aristotle. If you recall, I told you that he was provided with more than 800 assistants, okay, by Alexander just to make some observations in the nature. Okay, so those were the manual works for Aristotle. Okay, and that is why he could contemplate he could speculate. So the same kind of argument he is making for others who will be qualified to become citizens. So in order to develop virtue, contemplation and speculation is required. Okay, because only then a person will have time, will have free time. Okay, if he is engaged in earning livelihood, then he will not be having that time. A poor man is not able to associate himself with the responsibility of his state. See, since he is propertyless and does not need state's protection for his property. Okay, getting it? Now, if there is a poor person, his first concern is what? To meet the daily requirements, to meet the requirements of bread, okay, and shelter. So, bread and shelter, that is his primary concern. So, all day long, he is busy in ensuring that um, he is able to make sure that he has access to bread and शेल्टर। ओके, उसकी पहली जरूरत क्या है? रोटी कपड़ा मकान। अब वो पूरा दिन काम कर रहा है सिर्फ इस चीज को इंश्योर करने के लिए कि वो रोटी कपड़ा मकान का अपना इंतजाम कर सके। तो उसको कहाँ टाइम है स्पेकुलेशन का, कंटम्पलेशन का? और स्पेकुलेशन कंटम्पलेशन अगर नहीं करेगा तो एरिस्टोटल के हिसाब से वर्च्यू डेवलप नहीं होगी, गुडनेस डेवलप नहीं होगी, या वर्च्यू के लिए अप्रिसिएशन डेवलप नहीं होगा। ओके, गेटिंग इट? नाउ very few of you might be knowing about the exact verses of Tulsidas Ramcharitmanas. In one occasion, he says, or he uses one of the verse, which goes something like this: that को नृप होए हमें कहानी, को नृप होए हमें कहानी। का मतलब ये है कि कौन राजा है, कौन नहीं है, इससे हमें क्या फायदा, लाभ, हमें क्या नुकसान, हमें क्या फायदा या हमें क्या नुकसान। समझिए इस बात को। वहां तुलसीदास जी का कहना है कि कोई भी राजा बने, को नृप होए, कोई भी राजा बने, इससे हमें क्या नुकसान, हमें क्या फायदा। मतलब ये है कि when you are preoccupied, you are obsessed with earning livelihood or arranging the means of livelihood or means of living. Okay, all your time, your energy is invested there. Okay, you are whole day you are preoccupied with all those things. Then who is the prime minister? What policies they are coming out with, what is the status of employment or unemployment, how this very policy is going to benefit, what will be the how the budget is going to benefit when it comes to employment and other macroeconomic issues. This is something that you will not be concerned about. Okay, so if you're not concerned about anything that is happening in front of on the front of state or with regard to public policy, then Aristotle does not consider you a citizen, or he is not going to say that you are qualified to become a citizen, because citizenship requires active participation in the state, active interest in the state. Okay, performance of active performance of duties towards the state. Getting it? So he is not completely unjustified in his theory. Okay, you might find him someone who is having this very aristocratic tinge in his theories, or who who is not having concerns for the have-nots in the society. No, he's not denying that benefits should be forwarded, or benefits should be arranged for the slaves and other disadvantaged section of society. He's just saying that you cannot just make anyone, or you can not just accord the status of citizenship to anyone. Okay, citizenship is a bond for him. It is going to emerge out of the intimacy uh, that will emerge out of participation or active participation in performance of duties towards the state. Getting it? And that is why a poor person cannot become a state citizen in the state, because he cannot perform his all duties, or he cannot do what is required of a citizen. For Aristotle, residence alone cannot be a ground to determine citizenship, and that is why we are saying that it is a non-essential criteria. Okay, he keeps slaves and aliens outside the purview of citizenship. Again, deliberative and judicial capacity will require anyone to be able to rule and ruled. That will involve the ability to contemplate, to think, to come out with wise legislation, to understand their rationale, to follow them, and to understand why it is justified to follow them, to obey the laws. All that is required, which has been summarized as judicial and deliberative capacity. All that is required, and slaves, you will study that in theory of slavery, that slaves lack this very capacity to contemplate. Okay, this capacity to reason. That is why they are not going to be citizens. Why aliens are not going to be citizens? Aliens cannot develop the kind of intimacy or bond which is required for citizenship. Okay, according to Aristotle, again, this might you might feel disgust here with the thinking of it, because Aristotle is um, at worst he seems to be a misogynist. Okay, so forgive him for this very mistake. According to Aristotle, women are not qualified for citizenship, or they lack deliberative capacity. Okay, So women are not qualified for citizenship and they lack deliberative capacity. Aristotle considers children and elderly people incapable of participation in the same. So children, because they are they don't have knowledge. Okay, they don't have uh, they are children and they will not be having that kind of knowledge, that kind of ability to contemplate, ability to think, ability to reflect upon. Okay, on this and same is true for elders also, because they also will not be proper with their health, okay, and capacity to participate in the affairs of the state, and that is why both of them or both sections are not going to be citizens. According to Aristotle, a good citizen, along with capabilities to shoulder civic responsibilities, should have below mentioned qualities. Okay, so this is one of the qualities that any citizen should have. Okay, that is the capabilities to shoulder civic responsibilities. What is that? One who lives in harmony with the constitution. So the extremist, okay, anti-statist, radical people who want to scrap the institution of state or government, who are against the government, seditious people, all those kind of people are not going to be citizens. Okay, those kind of people actually should not become citizens, because here we are talking about the qualities that any individual should have in order to become citizens. Okay, so these are the qualities that are required for citizenship. Okay, now individuals should have leisure time so that he can discharge his duties and responsibilities of citizenship. Leisure means free time. Okay, virtues, as these qualities help in realizing a selfless and cooperative civic life. So he should have goodness, virtues, okay, good qualities. And because these qualities help in realizing a selfless and cooperative civic life, and that is actually required for becoming a citizen or for true citizenship, that is a bond of intimacy. Education is essential for citizenship, because I told you that deliberative and judicial capacity cannot exist without education. Okay. Then next, it is important to note that Plato makes a distinction between an acting ruling group and a political community. Getting it? Active ruling group in Plato's ideal scheme was rulers. Okay, individual belonging to ruler class, those who used to have reason as the dominant quality in their soul and wisdom as the virtue. Those were the active ruling group in Plato. Others, so for example, even the soldiers, auxiliaries in the state, who also were from the guardian class, did not belong to the ruling group, if you recall Plato's scheme. Okay, so there is a distinction between ruling group and those who do not rule. Although guardians and producers class are going to be part of political community, okay, under ideal state, but they do not belong to the ruling group. But in Aristotle, all the citizens are going to belong to the ruling group, because citizens themselves are actually collectively ruling over themselves, okay, by actively participating in the affairs of the state and by actively fulfilling all the duties towards the state. So this was about Aristotle's theory of citizenship. Now the next video is on theory of slavery. Okay, if you like the video, then subscribe. Okay, and you can ask all doubts also in this very Telegram link. And if you choose any subscription, apply this very coupon code to avail the 10% discount. So that was all for this very video. Thank you.